Hello, hello, hello. This is Alex with the great Peter Wesley. I can't speak today, but this is Rope Break, a wrestling podcast. And today we are going to talk about SummerSlam Night One. Peter, let's get to it, brother. How are you, by the way?
I'm okay. I want to start something that already annoyed me about SummerSlam before, and it reminded me because I'm looking at your shirt.
Yeah.
Uh, During the show, there
Mm-hmm.
is and I want to get this out of the way, just the beginning. During the show, there is a commercial, and it's saying SummerSlam 2026, Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
What happened?
I mean, because Indianapolis was supposed to get.
What? Yeah, what was
That
that
was the
about?
deal. That was the deal. Uh, I personally feel slighted because I was like, I was like, it's time to start saving money
Right.
for the next show, for the next big PLE that's going to be in the neighborhood. Honestly, we live in Louisville, Kentucky, people, but that's a 2 hour drive, an hour and a half drive. It's not a problem for
Pa-
anyone.
Part of me seen it coming because the way they switched up on Mania,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was like, oh, but they won't do it to Indianapolis. But why?
They
Why wouldn't they?
But hey, but also, why wouldn't they? And Pat McAfee has not been there ever since he felt burned out.
Ah,
And they only came here because of Pat. They only came to
but
Indianapolis because of Pat.
you announced the deal with Indianapolis. You didn't make a handshake. You didn't make a deal with Pat McAfee.
They announced the deal with with the New Orleans, and then they said, "Screw you guys."
They did. And
With
Rock
the
comes
Rock,
out. Rock comes out playing Lil
Rock is
Wayne.
hot.
And he said he wanted to show Wayne love because he felt like he was slighted or whatnot. Only
Mm-hmm.
just which was funny because the situation with Lil Wayne was Lil Wayne believed he was in talks to do
The
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl,
just so you can go and talk about doing WrestleMania and not
and then slight the entire city. Not only him, just screw New Orleans. You know, we don't care about you guys. Like what? Well, you'll get it another time. I mean, granted, they did have the one with Daniel Bryan,
Yeah, yeah.
but and they've had a couple manias. But I mean, I can see why that was trash. I was definitely upset by that myself. I wasn't home actually on the night two of Mania. I came
Oh,
home later. I wasn't home, but
yeah, I seen the commercial and it's like 2026
hmm
Minneapolis and I was like, you said Indianapolis very wrong. I don't
hmm
what's that?
what do you mean? Well, when I saw the message, I said, "Ah, we got screwed." I was
Yes.
like, "Well, I guess hopefully we'll at least get a Mania, because another Mania in Indianapolis."
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's supposed to be a three show deal where it was supposed to be every year. There was a
We
different
get a
one.
show.
So it was like, does that now push Mania up to 2028?
27,
20?
2028.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Who
don't know.
knows? I mean, if Vegas gets another one, it might be like 2030.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't think Vegas was supposed to get another one that
They weren't.
soon.
They weren't.
And then Royal Rumble's going to Saudi Arabia makes me wonder, like, is Mania going to be over there next?
It depends on who throws the most money.
That's what I'm saying. If
And
Saudi
they can
say,
throw the most money because I mean, that's
yeah.
royalty. That's royal
If
money.
Saudi Arabia is like, oh, how much is Indianapolis giving? Well, we'll double it. Then we will never get it.
We'll never see it again. We'll never see it again. That's very sad. I mean, I want to go to wrestling next year.
Yeah.
Other than a Raw, SmackDown.
And the
I
way things going, I don't think Louisville will ever get a PLE.
Oh, Louisville never get a PLE. We are B City.
We got two good pay-per-views. Like, come on, come back.
I mean, but you got to think. One was at Freedom Hall. The other one was at Louisville Gardens. That was it. And that was small potatoes to the
We got a
stadiums.
stadium. Come to Cardinal Stadium.
I mean, they could, but how much is the former Papa John's charging
I don't
for
know.
something like that? And I don't. How much is how big is it? How much does it seat? They won't fit. They won't at least 60 people, 60,000. least
I mean,
50,000
we can just do like,
a
give
two
us
night.
a judgment day or something, I'll,
They could do something like that. They could do something,
yeah.
but then you got to think they would want to charge $1 million for the seat. Granted, it wouldn't matter to us as much because we could locally go. It wouldn't be like I got to pay for accommodations or gas.
Yeah, yeah.
But are other people going to travel to go there?
Well, yeah, like I'm saying, it could just be a B level PLE. I'm cool with that. Like
We'll see. Hopefully, we'll get something, but I don't see it. All I see us getting is this Raw SmackDown.
I'd Raw and SmackDown.
I enjoyed SmackDown this past in Lexington. But you know, I felt like Raw in Louisville when I watched it. I was like, I'm glad I didn't go. The only good thing was people yeeted and they got tired. I mean,
I am, I am, I guess, coming to an age where I think I'm starting to realize seeing WWE live doesn't really beat seeing it on TV. I
oh, it
mean,
doesn't.
the experience is great. Don't get me wrong, but that's what I'm paying for. I'm paying to mark out with a bunch of other marks. That's about it.
You're paying to hang out with people like wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. Like yeah,
You're paying to find somebody else that like the niche thing that you like.
yeah,
And it's not even niche anymore because it's easier to find wrestling fans a little bit now. I've at least once or twice a week I see somebody with a shirt on.
yeah.
You know, and not a child.
Last, I think a couple weeks ago, I walked past a guy with a Marty Scroll Bullet Club shirt, and I was going to say something to him, but then I was like, he looked a little weird, and his choice of shirt was a little weird, so I didn't know. I don't know. He didn't.
I'm not gonna put myself out. A wrestling fan being
Yeah.
weird, you can't just say there's something wrong with that because but that's a wrestling fan. It's
Well, because my mind was like, what if he likes Marty for a different reason? That's where I was going with it.
what if he likes Marty because he
Yeah.
wants him to peg him? Well, hey, if he wants to be pegged by Marty, that's fine.
Oh, I didn't know he was into that. I was talking about the Me
The
Too thing that happened to
the
him.
Me Too movement. Oh, because
Yeah.
well, I don't think that's why he likes Marty because of
That's when
that.
that's why I said he looked a
Oh,
little weird. He had that face like
yeah.
as a he had the face. Hold on real quick.
Okay.
Oh. He had the face of like the of a predator in a TV show.
He looked like Chris Hansen was coming to get him.
Yeah, like like in every TV show where not they don't have it in every TV show, but when they do have the episode with the predator, he looks like him.
He had
And
that
they
face. Well, as
yeah.
long as you didn't have your kids, which is fine, man.
No,
As long as you
no.
got the kid, I would have said, "Hey, what's up?"
But I didn't want to go give him the too sweet, and then he's like, "Yeah, you into what I'm into," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," I don't.
I mean, it's usually ain't like it. I saw this guy. He had on the AEW shirt on, and he was definitely he looked like he might take little boys and girls
Oh my
behind the
god.
trailer. But no, we were at the car shop, and he just had the AEW shirt on, but I wasn't gonna speak to him. But my buddy was like, "Hey, I like your shirt." And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, when they hear, I'm usually I have set up the ring and I'm a runner for the wrestlers. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. That's
What do you
straight."
mean by runner? What did he go get snacks or
He
something?
go
Like
get
what?
snacks and foods and whatever they want around the city. Like he takes them around the places if you ain't never been here before, he just tries to help them out and shit. So he's that guy.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, so what? I was like, do you get paid? He's like, nah, they give me like free tickets and I get to watch wrestling and sometimes they pick me as the extra, in the audience and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's straight. So I wasn't mad at him.
Good friend of mine was an extra on SmackDown. What the one you were at in
No,
Lexington?
oh yeah, the one yeah, I heard about that. He was part of the truth segment.
Yes, he
Yeah,
was one of
yeah.
the security guards. Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Hopefully he gets signed. Did he go to
I
the
the
tryout?
tryout?
Yeah.
No, but one of my favorite internet guys. I think you watched some of his videos. Ben Bishop.
Yes, I saw. I saw that
Yeah,
Ben made it.
yeah, yeah.
Hopefully he gets signed as well.
I hope so.
But let's get to it. The first match in the card of Night One SummerSlams was Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. What did you think of that match, sir?
When it was first announced, I thought it was gonna be the main event. I did. I wanted Gunther and Punk, not because I have a like I don't not because I didn't think they like should be in the main event or nothing. It was just I want the title. World Heavyweight title needs to be in the main event. But I was still surprised when it happened. I was like, oh, okay. But this match, it was cool. Felt like a Raw main event.
Raw main event. Do you? So
You
do
know,
you
like
think? I get it.
like in earlier years, like when it was like Raw, it was like abundance of Raw main events where it was actually I
A
was gonna say in
random
the
tag,
past
a
random
random
tag
tag
team,
team,
yeah,
a
yeah,
random
it was
tag
just
team versus a random tag team in a main event.
yeah,
Top guys having a tag team match.
yes, exactly. That's what it felt like.
I'm gonna with me. I do you feel it was the right call that Roman and Jay won and not the Bronze?
Yes and no. The Browns should have won because like how you lose your first match. Um, but like knowing like WWE, like how we talking about SummerSlam, Nexus lost their big first match. Um, it's like one of those things where I don't think it was the right call, but it's like knowing the company, I'm not surprised.
Definitely see that. Me myself, I thought this was Roman's best match of the year. I felt like he gave more in this match than he did in WrestleMania.
I'm
Um,
trying to think because he's probably only had like a few matches this year. So
and now he's written off TV again, so there's that.
is he? Because
Um,
he's just from Raw.
the splashes, the tsunamis is
Well, so
taking it.
he did that, but there's another clip of him and Punk arguing. So I think they planting the seeds for War Games.
Well, that might happen, but Roman might be gone until November. So he's a true. He's more part time than Brock.
They'll do another remember how they did the weird symptomatic cutscene with him and Cody agreeing to
Oh,
tag team? Yeah, they'll do that and have
at
Punk and
the
him
at the
together.
football stadium. I'm from Georgia. I am too. I play my blood and sweat and tears on the gridiron.
While the
I grew up
most
here.
generic, dramatic music plays in the background.
Hmm. Cody just shows up in the sports car. Roman shows up with a motorcade, and Paul Heyman is there
To an
that
empty arena.
to an empty football arena. No sense. That was. I mean, it looked good, but it made no sense. It just looked good. It literally just looked good. Like, oh, that looks
Who
great.
who opened the door for y'all?
I got connections here. This is my town.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's a big town. It's in Georgia. He
You
said
know,
he. Yeah, yeah.
so
Why would I question? Why would I question?
you don't question our tribal chief. Just throw up those one. No, but to me, I felt like the match was good. I feel like Roman threw when he did the dive, when he almost jumped over fucking Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Oh, that was impressive. Because the way he was landing, I thought he was about to land face first. I was like, oh man,
Hmm.
that looks ugly. But no, I did like that spot. That was
So, cause he stopped doing it. He hasn't done that in years. He hasn't done that in a long time. That move. I don't recall him doing it unless he was wrestling Brock. Someone that he felt
okay.
like he needed to
Yeah,
do something
I don't know
crazy
last
on.
time I seen him do it. No.
So, and he hadn't wrestled Brock in years. Hell, Brock hadn't been there in years, but he hadn't wrestled him prior to that for a little while either. And I was just like, Roman is not going to do it. When he did the little run, I was like, oh, somebody's going to hit him. And then I was like, oh no, this man's going to do the jump. And then when he did the jump, I'm like, well, damn,
Yeah.
he did it. And and he jumped super high and far. Like, well, goddamn, you did it better than Jay. We don't need to see Jay do it anymore because he flopped. But
Oh,
Ro,
he did. He did. They gave him a
I'm
pass. Because another AJ did it, and
yeah.
nobody's forgiven him since.
Oh, poor Francis. I think to me, I've forgiven him after he took that ladder
Oh,
bump, but that's
I
neither here
did.
nor there.
Yeah, no,
That ladder bump on his crotch, and he still came back the next day. Well, and
that ladder
filmed.
bump. See what I'm saying? To this day, he did that ladder bump just because of people giving him hell about that.
People gave him hell about the ladder bump, but it was people in the business that gave him hell for the ladder bump.
Really?
They said,
What?
"Why didn't you just fall? Why didn't you just fall straight? Why did you jump off the ladder when it was falling and land crotch first? You should have just fell
They
over."
know why he did because he's trying to prove the people harass him on the internet that he's athletic. Like
They
we
felt like
know.
they felt like he should just take a back bump, the same way Casey Navarro did.
Hmm.
Like just fall. Make sure you fall like this. Now fall like this on your boys.
You had to know he still feels like he's got a chip on his shoulder about that.
I mean, until he does a dive successfully, there will always be
I
something.
don't think that one was well, yeah, but I don't think that spot was bad. I don't.
The ladder spot wasn't bad. The only thing that made the dive spot bad is people fell afterwards, and he didn't touch anybody. He
He didn't
just
touch
kind of
anybody. He didn't touch anybody. But I don't
because
blame that on him. I don't. Yeah,
no, I wouldn't.
they.
If it was me, I would have been like, bro, I'm not going to sell something where you obviously botched. That it makes the business look retarded. But that's just me.
I think they should, try to catch him or something. They just. I don't know.
I mean, if you just gonna do it, just laugh at him and punch him. Like laugh at him. The Undertaker wouldn't have failed. Undertaker would have laughed at him, punched him in the face, and that would have been fine. Sell the punch. That's what you need to do. Sell the punch from here. After that, but now to the next match. After that, we had the women's tag team championship match: Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Your thoughts, sir?
Um, it was cool. That's really all I got. Uh, it's because I guess mainly because it's just like two makeshift tag teams, and I don't. Yeah, there's no. I when we was talking about it, I had said I was going with Judgment Day, and I really forgot who they were going against. That was just they champs. I know they was defending it. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna keep it because them themselves as a team is still very new. And then I still thought this Charlotte thing it could have waited before putting the belts on them,
Definitely.
uh but we in this weird moment where everybody loves Charlotte again. So I guess
You better capitalize on it as much as she can.
yeah. So I'm not mad at that.
Because as soon as her and Lexi split up, Charlotte's not going to be booed, not going to be cheered, boos every day. But I also
I
feel
think
it
if you
could be.
just present her the right way, maybe. Uh, I
I feel
think if
like
you present it as an egotistical heel, like the hate's gonna feel the heat's gonna feel real, but you can't make her like the underdog either. Um, but if you make her like regular, if you try to make her more relatable, like a like babyface Kevin Owens,
yeah.
like I think so.
But you also have to take. I feel like to make her baby face Kevin Owens, you have to take out the fact that her father's Ric Flair.
And when I say that, because that's what that I guess that's kind of how I felt when I say relatable. That's he's the first person to come to my mind, and why I said that for her is because that article she put out,
Yeah.
and it was just like I think that's what made people like her. Just made you made her down to earth. Uh,
I feel like Ashley Flair is a relatable person. You got a father, but he wasn't really there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He just kind of threw money at you because he was out there being a whore. He was out there being Ric Flair. He was living the gimmick, right?
still
So
is.
and still is. You know,
We just seen him with Chris Brown.
that was horrible. Man,
He
Chris,
did.
that was horrible.
The
Poor
way
Chris
he was
Brown.
on him made me think he was like trying to challenge Chris for a fight or something. I was like,
He
why is
might
he?
have. He might have. I want to chop you. You want to chop me? Beat me like you beat Rihanna. Woo! And I'll
If he
beat you
had
like I beat Wendy.
if he had enough beers, he would have said that.
It would have been. It would have been one of those. You. It would have been them holy shit moments. The audience would have came out of nowhere. Rick would have
Oh
took
my
his
god.
jewelry off and his shirt off. We should have saw the pacemaker just over there beating on one side of his chest, and he would have slapped the shit Chris Brown, and Chris Brown would have had to beat up an old man. You just get out of jail, boy. Yeah,
Gosh.
I wouldn't want to be with that. I wouldn't want to be with Rick. For me, for my thoughts, I would like to say I feel like it was the. I feel like it was the only call. It wasn't. I feel like in this match, it wasn't the right or wrong call. It was just like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
we got to give it to the veterans because it feels like they're not doing anything and their wheels are just spinning. And eventually, they're going to break up and they're going to wrestle each other. It's just
That I
who's.
don't care for. I don't in the only way, like in either way, like Charlotte being heel face, Alexa's being heel. I don't care to see it. I don't. I mean, maybe given time, they can build up something where it'll be interesting. But right now, I don't care.
To me, I feel like Alexa's so small, and she's not a physical girl. Like she's not a
No.
physical wrestler. She's better than Carmella, as who we talked about earlier, but she's like a notch better than Carmella because she's willing to at least come off the top rope, and she does have a more gymnastics background, so she's willing to do some tumbles and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But she's so small, I feel like she's gonna get hurt. And I know some people are like, well, that's the same thing as Roxanne. It's like, no, Roxanne wrestles like a luchador.
Right, right.
So she understands, and that has nothing to do with her being Mexican because she obviously was trained
I
by
didn't even know
Booker
she was.
She's Mexican,
No, I didn't know.
Mexican American, but
Okay, all right.
she's not.
Now we
Yeah,
on
yeah.
something.
She's not from Mexico. She's from Texas,
All right, okay.
but Mexican origin. I think she understands. I might have this Mexican origin, so I might have. And I'm small. I'm not going to be 6 foot. I'm not going to be 5'10". I'm not going. I'm going to be a shorter girl. 5 feet maybe 4'11". I feel like Alexa Bliss is taller than her. And I'm going to have to
She might
move.
be. Yeah, she might be.
I'm going to have to move a little bit differently, and that's fine. So I think she understands that she needed to be a little bit more athletic with her professional wrestling skill. I feel like the star of that match was Raquel. Raquel is definitely took Kevin Nash's advice of wrestle big, wrestle like you big mommy cool. Since you want to be big mommy cool, you need
It's
to
funny.
wrestle.
It's funny. Ever since she has been like that, everybody says, "Oh, she listened to Kevin," and I wonder if it really was that because her response to it, it felt legit, but it also felt a bit sarcastic.
It could have been either way, but
Yeah,
I feel like if you're gonna use my character, which is Big Mommy Cool and he's Big Daddy Cool, you need
that's
to,
fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
you need to act like that considering the moniker that was given to you and the person I'm pretty sure Triple H gave it to her because that's one of his best friends. You need to
Is it?
wrestle, I guess.
No, I say that because like I know it's his boy, I'm not questioning that, but I just feel like he complains about the product so much that I'd be like, don't you
Nash.
know like one of your best friends works there? Like, it's
Both of
just
his best
like
friends, Sean too. He doesn't care.
yeah, yeah,
But
it's
they're
just
not. He has a Legends deal. They're not paying him directly. It ain't like they. He went to WrestleCon. He didn't go to SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? He's over here with Sting and Lex. He's not with. He's not
I
over
think I
there
think
going to
I
see
think
the
Lex,
show.
I think Lex going to that instead of WrestleMania is one of the funniest things ever.
He knew where he was gonna make more money at. He wasn't gonna make no money sitting up
But
there in
him
the box.
him doing that let me know like, oh, okay, he's the old Lex is still there. He's
He's still
still
there a little bit. A little bit Lex Luger. He might not be able to walk and flex, but he knows where his bread is buttered. It's on that indie circuit, just getting these people getting that money, signing one of those signed autographs. They didn't offer him a $10,000 meet and greet, so he said, "Screw it, you know, I need to make me some money."
for
The-
what? He ain't got enough.
These therapy sessions don't pay for themselves. Dallas is charging him a rent. You're gonna stay in my house, but you still got to pay me rent. Bang! It's not a bad thing; it's a good thing. You know, DDP ain't playing. DDP needs his money too.
DP has been babysitting veterans for a minute.
Some of them are falling off. Buff Bagwell done lost a damn leg,
Oh my god.
and he still wants to have a match.
He needs to let it go.
He's Zach Gowen, but old.
You know, one of the male workers that was that testified in the Diddy trial was on that TV show with Buff Bagwell.
Yes, I heard.
Small world.
Well, you see, no, it's just people that did mess up things all hang out together. Yes, this is how it is. Yes, you know, if you where there's smoke, there's fire. So we knew there was smoke from Buff. We knew dude was fire because he was with Diddy. So it's just how it is. It's how it is. Next on the card was Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. What did you think about that one?
Um, man. So I'm gonna say this. I really like Karrion Cross.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Oh, match was a little boring. I think all their matches together is a little boring.
I don't
Um,
think they have good chemistry together.
it is that they don't have good chemistry. They don't have good chemistry, and the way they're working does not match the crowd. The crowd is treating it like Karrion's the
The
babyface,
baby face.
and they still work until all this time. Karrion's working slow and methodically. And Sammy's doing these comebacks, but the crowd doesn't care for it because they want it the other way around. It's it just feels off. It felt off in Saudi Arabia. I wanted, and it felt off here. And I thought like if you're doing it again, you know what the crowd wants, you know what's expected. You're gonna change this up, and they didn't. It felt the same. It was like they did the same match.
In that match, I can say this: I felt like it was definitely wrong person went over. Why? But with them saying Cross isn't going to resign, I guess it makes sense. But maybe we can get a swerve again because we got a swerve at the end of the night. We're not going to talk about it yet, but we got a swerve at the end of the night. So maybe it's all a swerve because we don't. Maybe Triple H is playing chess while we're all playing checkers. I don't know
He really,
what's going
from
on.
what I was saying, he really likes Cross. So I don't know what the deal is.
Uh, we might see. To me, I felt like he was booking Cross to be the next Stephanie and Triple H in a way. At first, you know, Cross kind of has that look of old school, younger Triple H. And Scarlett is more seductive version of Stephanie, I guess, because Stephanie wasn't really seductive. I was a big Stephanie fan growing up, but she wasn't seductive. She was just Stephanie. She was the kind of that she was the hateable Karen, but you
I
you
think
you
there was a few times she did have like a hint of like
she had the like when she wore the all leather when she first got her boobs done and
yeah, and
stuff
the
like that,
curly hair.
the curly hair. But I
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
was really just for Triple H. That was
it
really
was
just
too.
that
I
that
think it
was
was when she just had turned heel too.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that that was
yeah.
that was a different deal, but that didn't last too long.
It
Si
didn't. It didn't.
3 months later, she was just Stephanie McMahon with Triple H.
Yeah,
In DX, she was obviously the top girl, but she was top girl because she was Vince's daughter and with Triple H.
cause she made herself be the top.
She, you gonna put it in, damn it! I'm the top girl. Give me the belt, but you can't bump. Doesn't matter. Give me the belt. Okay, give me the belt. Stephanie took some bumps later on though when she got rock bottomed and stunned and people's elbow, but everybody got
She didn't take any in those actual women's matches when
no,
she
no,
was the champion.
no. She only took bumps by men. But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she felt like a man could protect her. The match I always wanted was Stephanie versus China with
You was
Triple
never
H
gonna
in the
get that. You was
well,
never gonna get that.
with Triple H in the shark cage. Cause China, Joni Lauer would have beat the shit out of Stephanie
Yeah, and
McMahon,
that's why you never would have got that.
and that's what that's and then because you took my man. Yeah, that would have been horrible.
She would have yelled at.
Hmm. Poor Stephanie, she would have just been crying. Vince would have came out. That's good. That's good shit. But I'm gonna have to beat her ass. I'm gonna have to hit my daughter. God damn it. Vince would have hit her for real. But it would have been an amazing match. Nonetheless, it would have been an amazing just sight, I should say.
Did they share many? scenes together on TV. Only thing I can think of is there was like one I think thing where I think it was when I'm trying to think how'd it go? It was some weird segment with I come down here looking for my charger, I can't find it. But it was a weird segment where I think like Triple H looked in a weird position with I want to say with Stephanie. I think he was still China's on-screen partner, I think, at
Yeah,
the time.
I think they shared a couple of things together, but uh they weren't together in the storyline. So I think she knew Joni, she knew China. But I don't think her and China had true interactions inside of the. I think China grabbed her once, like just when he was feuding with Vince. But this was
Okay.
before that happened, before the fake marriage happened, and they started being an all-night couple. But it would have been amazing if it would have happened. But we know that would have never happened.
Would
Then,
you,
hmm,
before we get there, let me ask you a question.
hmm,
You split up with a girl.
hmm.
You're done with her. Like you're the one. You cut things off. You have no interest in her. Your friend goes with her. She's
X
still your
Pac.
friend?
Talking about Pac.
I'm just asking a question.
I don't know how that goes, but to me, it would be like I don't know. To me, it would be another one of that doesn't work for me, brother. I guess as the late great Hulk Hogan would say, I would say no. But we would, especially if it was that soon, and we were like, because Triple H and China were talking about getting married at one point in their relationship. They were
And the way she talks about Triple H, it's almost like she blames him for
everything.
ruining her life for everything. So with that said, I can only imagine her being with X-Pac and still venting about it.
But you also have to think. I think X Pac wasn't messing with him during that time either.
Okay,
Like,
see,
like,
I really don't know the timeline of things with that.
because when they were together, he didn't have the job there too. He was working at TNA,
Mm.
so he didn't have a job. She didn't have a job. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn soon after didn't have jobs. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much the only person out of DX at one point that consistently had a WWE job was Shawn Michaels, who didn't count. He didn't count to that version. To me, he didn't count in that version of DX. He was, because he wasn't really working there. He worked there because he was on payroll, but he wasn't working there, And then you had Triple H. And Triple H is the only one who kept a consistent job. He was consistent on payroll. He didn't really look out for his boys. He looks out for them now. Obviously, Road Dogg is working, for SmackDown. X-Pac, I think he has some kind of strange job at the Performance Center. I don't know what he does, but he's working there. See, man, teach him how to do the Bronco Buster. Uh,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
Jada Parker's finisher is gonna be the Bronco Buster now.
That move pops up so much now.
The red and Bronco Buster is in the middle of
Yeah.
a girls match. That's because it's in a girls
Yes.
match. The Muff
This, this
the
is
Muff
every
Buster.
this is every this is every especially attitude area. Every teenage boy's dream was getting the Bronco Buster from a girl, but now seeing it just being just done out.
It's bastardized. Everybody
Yeah,
does it.
it's a
Even AEW, WWE, the Indies, the Bronco Buster. I feel like to me the only Bronco Buster that even seems disrespectful is from Sean, like Sean Waltman when he actually does it, because
oh
does
yeah.
he does it so sleazy because he looks sleazy when he does it.
Because he does it like well, it's his move, but he
Yeah,
does it like it's supposed to. It's not to look funny. Well, I mean, I guess a little funny, but not to look sexy. Like it is disrespectful. I'm putting my
it's
nuts in your face. Like
yeah.
it is disrespectful. Like
He does. He does it disrespect every time. He does it very disrespectful. So I don't get mad at his Bronco Busters, but everybody else's I get mad. Like when on house shows you see Rhea does the stink face and the Bronco Buster. It looks
Well,
like
and they and
she's
they and it's weird because it's in the match, and then like they're all, it's house show, but they're all like
they just
liking it.
having
It's
fun. They
yeah.
just having fun, and they over here being like when Shayna jumped on and said, "Put your ass in my face next," and she's over here
Which
shaking like,
the
"Come on."
the only person that could do it and people feel turned off.
Shayna, yes. If
If
she,
if any other woman says that, you're like, oh man, this wrestling's getting good now. Like,
Mhm. Then you got Shayna, come on, sounding like Naruto over there. Come on, put it in my face,
and I
pussy
love Shayna.
jutsu.
I will say that I love Shayna. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers, but in that instance, cut it out.
I was like, Shayna, stop. We know you gay, baby. Stop it.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those deals.
You
It's
don't
like,
have
yeah.
to act gay. Like, I'm bisexual. No, you look at a penis and say, I got a big one in my bag. Stop it. You know, you know.
She
No, no, Shayna. But to answer your question about X Pac and Triple H, I would say no, we wouldn't be friends. But honestly, I don't think they were friends during the
Mm.
when he was with Joni. You know,
Remember around that time when the tape leaked, they asked Triple H about it, and he just didn't seem bothered. And I think from there I should have known like there's something off about this guy. He's definitely a company guy because he is not. He didn't seem like, oh man, my buddy's banging my ex on.
Max.
But he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah,
But she stated that the only person that really looked out for her was Billy. Billy Gunn looked out for her through everything. It wasn't X Pac because he was getting high with her and he was mad at Triple H. It wasn't Road Dogg. It was Billy.
mm.
Billy was the rock for everybody. That's the only reason he's probably the only one that still looks jacked.
I think because I think that with that said is while Billy, does he's with DX and then he's a man career wrestler. He's like 60 now.
Yeah,
Uh, Along with that, Billy is still a husband and a dad, and not just a dad like a no disrespect, a Jerry Lawler, Ric Flair.
he's an
He's
active father.
yeah, like so I can see him comforting and Joni and trying to help her out because he's a good guy. You know,
I think Billy was everybody's rock. He said Road Dogg said, "Yeah, if it wasn't for Billy, I'd be dead." So I think
I can see that.
Billy was probably. I mean, I feel like Triple H was Sean's rock, but that was only for one person that he was going to be the rock for. That was Sean. Nobody else. No, Sean was so much he couldn't spread it any.
I also feel like there's a point where Triple H became once he became top dog. I do feel like he looked at Shawn like, I don't need you no more.
Oh, I mean, I mean, I feel like Sean's character could always go, for lack of a better term, both ways, heel or face. I feel like at Triple H's peak, he could never turn to a babyface. He had to turn into a babyface once he reached legend state. So once he hurt his quad, that's the only
Yeah,
way he could be a babyface. And it's because we know you went through a legitimate injury and you fought your way back.
yeah.
But if he would have
He
never
was,
got hurt, I don't think he could ever turn. He could have ever turned babyface if he would have got hurt.
yeah. He was never. I don't want to say he wasn't good at being a babyface. I don't think. Well, no, I take it back. DX Triple H babyface. I did like him. Any other one, it just
Let's
felt.
let's get ready to suck it. Triple H, long
Yeah,
long purple tights.
Triple H with the pants is my favorite Triple H.
That's what I said.
That
Long purple tights. Triple
Yeah,
H.
yeah. That is my but
Frat
babyface
boy
Triple
Triple
H,
H.
babyface him, especially like in that weird like post like 2005 him, it didn't hit. It didn't land right. Um and some of it could be because some of the angles he had, like the weird thing with him and Vince,
Yeah.
it maybe some of that didn't land right, and then you already had a babyface John Cena bigger denim.
Mm.
So it was so yeah, it just never I don't know. It never other than him and Sean, when they came back together, but that didn't hit right either. I think it was just the nostalgia value that had
Is
it.
that? Oh, Sean was uber Christian by then, and Triple
Yeah.
H had to do all the jokes, but we already knew that Triple H was married and had children, so it really wasn't all that cool.
And the
And we,
weird joke about Cox
yeah,
it wasn't funny.
I had the shirt though.
Oh, I did
I
too.
had the
I did
shirt.
too.
Vince and then the big giant chicken. Well,
I
Vince's
had the
cock.
one where they're like, it looks like they're like naked and they doing like the crotch
The
shot.
crotch chop, and they got one on one side, the DX in the middle, and one on one side.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
that too. I had all those DX
yeah.
shirts. I bought all that entire line of DX merchandise. It was like I had an ex around about that time, and she did not like me wearing wrestling stuff at all.
Oh man.
No, she didn't
See,
like it.
my girl always knew I was, watching wrestling, so she knew that was just part of the deal. It came
Oh,
with me.
mine, me and this one got together because she had a crush on Hulk Hogan, and I always post about Hogan. Yes, it's strange to find a woman who had a crush on Hulk Hogan. Yeah, she was
It
black.
is. It is. You that didn't even though you're a fan of Hogan, just hearing her say she had a crush on that didn't raise an eyebrow like,
Well, I did go. I did say it. I said why. I asked. I said, so why did you have a crush on Hulk Hogan? And her response was, well, I thought he kind of looked like my dad, and my dad was big, handsome, and muscular, and and she was one of
Was he
those people
bald
that
too?
he was balding. He wasn't
Mm,
as bald as Hulk, but he was balding. But he did. I guess he had muscles when he was younger, and he also played bass guitar in a band, and that was Hogan's thing as
for real.
well. Yeah, so and he was black, but he was light skinned black, and Hogan's tan, so they looked around about the same shade of color. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how we got together. But when she saw that I wore wrestling clothes, like she was like, I went to her daughter played basketball, and I went to her daughter's basketball game. She said, "That's embarrassing." And I had that DX shirt. I had that shirt and the hoodie. I had them both on. So she was like, "Oh, you can't even take it off because you got the damn shirt on that matches the hoodie." I was like, "We."
Mm.
And she was like, "People are gonna feel." I say, "They." I was like, "There's other people in here with all kind of great." There's a dude with a Nirvana shirt on. Kurt Cobain killed himself. What is wrong with you? So but that was an issue to her because of she's like, "Yeah, you dress like a clown." I was like, "I wear wrestling." It's to me, it's just the same way as someone wearing a football jersey.
So I had a period where I don't know if it was the wrestling shirts, but I think it was a mix of everything. It was the wrestling shirts. I wore a lot of Marvel shirts,
Hmm.
and my girl was like, "So like, you dress like a kid or something like that." And I was like, "Oh, damn." And I think it was a period where when we first, was dating, where she thought like it was cool, and then I think after a while, I think she was like, I guess, expecting me to change and be more of like a suit and
Uh,
tie
uh,
kind of
uh,
guy.
an older man,
Yeah, because
the
it
older
was I
man
think around
outfit.
time like a Justin Timberlake's the suit and tie song was out and everything. So I guess she was expecting me to morph with that. No, but I don't know. I'm the one that picks out most of her clothes these days, so jokes on her.
There
I
you
won.
go. you, you're the winner. Well, me myself, my current girlfriend, it's a little bit different. She understands that I like wrestling, but since I am older, I don't wear wrestling shirts unless I'm going to wrestling. I'm on this
Mm.
podcast. That's the only time I wear wrestling shirts. Um, but I mean, I still like I'll throw on like I'll have on a suit, but I'll have on a Skeletor pendant, or I'll
Ah, I
have on a
like that. I
WWE
like
pendant.
that.
So I wear a Batman watch or whatever. So there's always something that's still of me as who I am as a person, even though I'm just blending it in with something else.
I'm slowly trying to get to that. There's this clothing line. It's called Resevelt,
Mm,
and they actually make WWE stuff too. But they make a lot of licensed like polos.
okay.
and like and there'll be like certain like there's like Batman, Marvel stuff, and they've done two runs of WWE stuff, and it was like this one, this like Shawn Michaels one I had to get. It is sold out. I went and bought it resale on eBay. I gotta get this.
All right.
Uh, yeah, but it's one of those things where like it's got like the designs all over it, but sometimes like you would have to like really look at the shirt and be like, oh wait
Oh,
a
that's a
minute,
wrestling shirt.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to slowly get into the where I
There's
can.
always a way,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
you can get just regular old WWE polos because they sell them. The office
Oh yeah,
shirts, and
yeah, they do.
they sell
Yeah.
those, and for a while I used to have a Hogan polo. It just said Hulkamania. It was red polo, but it said Hulkamania on the side.
Nice, nice.
So it's it was very it was inconspicuous. Like you would have to look. Obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, you can recognize the Hulkamania logo from a mile away. But if you're not, you don't know what it is. You just think it's a brand.
You know
You
some
know.
clothes I really, really want, and I've seen it. I've seen it on eBay for like a crazy price. I want one of those retro WWF jumpsuits.
Oh, I love those.
Like,
and I didn't have, but I know what you're
yeah.
talking about. I love those. I love them. I
Like the
still want.
cameraman used to wear and stuff.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
Vince used to wear those fuckers all the time. Like when they would show like videos of him back in the day, like just walking around. You know.
I want that jean jacket he used to wear. There's a clothing line, Chalk Line.
Mm,
They've been making them.
yes.
The one the brawl one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, JR. I think JR used to wear them too.
They are Jim Ross and him like Jerry Lawler always wore his gimmick, uh, but Jim Ross
Still
and
does.
Vince he still does. Now he just wears the shirt with the King logo on it. Those ugly, those shirts are horrible. But
Somebody needs to tell him to stop doing the Instagram videos.
look, he's old. He's an old man doing Instagram, and
He's
that's what
doing
his.
he is doing the stereotypical old man internet videos. It's like I don't know if there's a website you go to when you're a certain age, but he is on it and he is making the videos
He's
and
making.
oh my
I'm
God.
not mad at him, man. Like 100%. I'm just glad Jerry's alive. So
Yeah, yeah.
when Jerry posts, because Jerry is literally part of my wrestling childhood. Wrestling with him wrestling down at Louisville Gardens for
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those years in Memphis. He really is like legitimately part of my wrestling childhood. Other than Hogan, he wasn't my guy. Like that was Brian. Brian was my guy in USWA. But you know, Jerry's alive. He's Brian adjacent, considering he's daddy. So
I'm gonna say something disrespectful, even though I don't want to be. So like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. So like, he did not give him a lot of attention until he passed. I know it sounds
that's
mean.
uh, in USWA. He put him over, but they never. It was like not really addressed that that was his kid. And but I think that was more Brian's design that he didn't want to be known as Lawler's
I think
son.
Lawler's too. Like he not in a sense like he was ashamed of him, but a sense of like I want you to get over on your own or something like
Get out
that.
there by yourself, yeah.
And they always like, and I was young, but there was a few times during his matches that they would hint. He's like, "Oh, he kind of look like you, don't he?" Or something like that. And I was like, "What?"
hmm
I was like, what?
I mean, it was always put out there that his name was Brian Christopher Lawler, especially they went to Memphis in USWA. It was a little bit more well known, considering that Jerry was in Tennessee. Jerry is a celebrity, like he's a legitimate celebrity, just in Tennessee. So obviously everybody knew who his children were. You can't hide that you took Brian to school when he was a little
Right,
boy.
right, right, right.
When everybody knows who you are. So yeah, it was known if you knew the backstory that yeah, that was his son, but he didn't want. I don't think either one of them wanted to be labeled as that. But I think Brian would have got a. Brian's career would have been different if it would have just been, hey,
But then
after
ever
Too
since
Cool
he,
broke up.
he passed, that's all he can talk about. he even went on to I I think he finally let it go, but he was at one point trying to I guess launch some sort of investigation because he thought maybe the that he was murdered by
Yeah,
law enforcement, which I mean as a parent I of course um but it was just like man why didn't you put this energy into him when he was here,
that's true. But hindsight's 2020, and me, I don't know if you can, but I know I can't imagine losing my kids.
Oh,
Before
definitely, yeah.
I die, that'd be, I'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
You'd see me in the news because I'd definitely go on a killing spree, brother. It would just be, well, everybody has to die. I become Lance Archer, just beating up people randomly just cause I see them. I don't even know who you are. I can only imagine what kind of mindset he's in,
Yeah,
and
no.
especially because the post he made the other day because it was near Brian's funeral, near to the anniversary of his passing. I can understand that it just probably just messed him up. And Hogan died. He knew Hogan. Around about the same time. He helped break Hogan into the business down in Memphis. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that messed him up. Just everybody, him dealing with his own mortality too. It isn't like he's young,
No, no.
and he's had some health scares. Not one or two, quite a few. You know,
Like Dolph gave him that heart attack.
There's that. Let's not put it on old Nick Nemeth. He's
I don't
he's
think he meant to, but he gave him a stiff elbow.
he gave him all those elbows. Remember, he gave him 10. you know,
He did though. He did.
he gave him 10.
He
Then
was just he was just being Dolph, like, but you gotta remember it's not
see,
1980s Jerry
yeah.
Lawler.
Well, if it was 1980s Jerry Lawler, he wouldn't have got that many elbows on. He would have got like three, and then the King would have moved and pulled the strap down and punched him and power drove him. It would have been over.
Probably so, yeah.
The match would have been over. But then the next, back to the topic at hand, the next match was the WWE Women's Championship match of Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill.
All right, so I do. All right, I liked it. I guess it just wasn't what I expected, like as far as outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like it. I thought this was gonna be like Jade's, crowning moment. She comes out, she's showing her Jamaican heritage that I didn't even know existed. Um,
Kofi Kingston said she was paying tribute to Kofi Kingston. What?
I love that he did that. I'll say this: I think this was her best match. I think she, her
Now, when
her
you
and
say best
Tiffany.
match, do you mean best match in WWE or best match period?
I can't think of no disrespect. I can't think of any really good ones in AEW.
Okay.
I could be, maybe I'm overlooking something. The only real match that she had like a full length match was the last one she had where she dropped the title. Who was that
With
to? Was it?
Statlander.
Yeah, yeah. And that was weird because it's just like, huh? I wasn't expecting her to just lose like that. And then we figured out why. And it was like,
Because
oh,
she's
okay.
going to the E.
Yeah. But I thought this was her best, and I really like the one. I will say this: I really like the one with her and Naomi. So it might be between the two of those. But I guess the why I said this one is like she ended up like losing that. So I guess that part maybe stuck out a little bit more, and it was just like she really kind of I don't know. She showed a lot, and it showed improvement in her skills. They seemed like they had chemistry together. Um, and that's something I did not expect. Not to say I was wanting to see a train wreck, but I didn't have high expectations really. Because Tiffany's still new. So I didn't. Can she carry someone like Jay? New people can't do that. But no, they wrestled like they had good chemistry together. I liked it.
I can say I agree with you. I enjoyed the match. I thought I don't think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their actions. I enjoyed the way they performed the match. The match was good. It was physical. They're two big physical girls.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know, both athletic background, basketball and as a gymnast. They weren't afraid to get in there, take bumps, take risks. Obviously Tiffany's not considering that the prettiest moonsault ever is her finisher. Um, and Jade showed that she wasn't afraid to get hit either.
yeah,
Um, the finish, the finish I didn't like just because it was only one. Like at least hit her with two prettiest moonsaults ever. It's like she's supposed to be a force, a powerhouse. She's
right.
supposed to kick out of the prettiest
But
moonsault
what
ever.
happened before she did the moonsault though?
I mean, there was a Jade did hit the jaded, but she did it too close to the ropes, and Tiffany's foot hit the ropes.
She
She
did
didn't kick
that.
out of jaded, but and then it was
Yeah, it
the
was
Alabama Slam,
that part, and then she did the moonsault.
and then she did the moonsault.
Alabama Slam was a little awkward. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was
It,
awkward.
yeah,
But I think just because how tall Jade
yeah.
is,
And
Jade
usually when
isn't the
people do that
size.
move, they doing it to somebody smaller than them. So
Yeah, Jade isn't the size of Candice LeRae. You
right,
know,
right.
there's a difference between doing it to Candice LeRae or Roxanne Perez or a smaller girl in general, and then you got a girl that's like almost 6 feet tall, and you're like 5'8", 5'9". You know, she's not going to take the biggest whip in the world because her feet are she's so long.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with the finish. I'm not gonna lie. If Jade was gonna lose, like I said, should have been more than one. I didn't want Jade to lose at all. But I know she's getting ready to do a movie here soon.
And I wasn't thinking about that because I really expected this was her night. She was about to win the title. Um, so that threw me off.
Sh-
What do you think about her reaction to everything? Like, you seem the sad her sitting
mhm.
by the ring, and then her tweeting, um, uh, what she okay, you guys win or
You
something,
guys
some
win,
long.
yeah. I think
Uh,
this is gonna get. I'm okay with that. I think this is gonna be heel Jade Cargill when she comes back,
mm.
and I think we'll finally get the match we really want, which is heel Jade versus Bianca, because they said Bianca's coming back on Friday, and I don't see her feuding with anybody else other than Tiffany.
I I still believe that WrestleMania was meant for Jade and Bianca. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the writing room was like, "Well, what if we do this with Naomi?" But I just feel like that whole storyline was made for Bianca and Jade. That's the fancy match
I
people
think
been wanting. They had the
I can
titles. We
see that,
always.
but I think maybe. What are you gonna say? You can finish.
Oh yeah, my bad. We usually, we're used to seeing that tag team split and turn each other, and I get the Naomi part, but I just feel like I don't know. I believe that was originally made in mind for Bianca.
I can see that. Um, but maybe I feel like they don't want to turn Bianca heel, and I think
Mm.
she would be a good heel. But the black girl market, the black little girl market, because the grown women are rocking with Naomi. The caution.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can go buy caution tape and put it on your outfit. Caution tape is at the store. You can go to Walmart and get some caution tape, put it on your outfit, and you can cosplay as Naomi. But they're digging the crazy vibe. They're digging that if you've been rocking with Naomi for 15 years, you know who she is. You know what she's been through. You know her struggles.
And I will say
Um,
this: I've noticed with Naomi, she has always had. I don't. And it may not be the largest, but she has always had like a group of like dedicated
mhm.
fans. Even some because I know people talk about how like
Oh yeah.
the Bellas brought a lot of women to WWE. I've noticed that there's like a group of people that's been loving Naomi for a long time, and there's an odd group of like gay men that really like Naomi.
Came
Um,
in. Mm-hmm.
and it's just like like I just feel like she never gets credit for like the new people that she brings. And I'm not saying it's like the greatest number, but it is significant because I'll go like on her page and seeing people tweet to her that love her, and it's like man, like these don't even look like people that would have normally been watching wrestling if it wasn't
No,
for
they wouldn't
her.
have watched wrestling. I feel like her and the Bellas, both with Total Divas, because if you watch Total Divas, there was really no body black that you wanted to gravitate towards. No offense to Alicia Fox, but I wouldn't want to gravitate towards her because she was just an
People
alcoholic.
people feel like that about her right now.
And she, her character is just an alcoholic at this point now. When she shows up to TNA, um, Victoria Crawford is here. She's drunk. Fuck it. Um, but no, I feel like you had her. She just seemed like she was an alcoholic. JoJo really didn't have any kind of. She wasn't really on the show that long. She's like, oh, JoJo hit the bricks. Next thing you know, she's getting trampled by Rambling Rabbit and all the other Wyatt Funhouse. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. But anyway, but I feel like she was the only person of color. If you watch that show, you could really resonate with and want to be cool with. Her husband was the funny Samoan dude who most people thought was black. Um, I even got a message the other day. It was during SummerSlam. I saw these two black dudes wrestling wrestling this fat man and this one man barking. And I was like, well, first of all, there's two Samoans. There was three Samoans in that match. What are you talking about? The fat man was Samoan too. It's one white person. But with Naomi, I feel like Naomi she got so many people in because of the reality TV. And then once you saw her as a person, like, oh, Trinity's cool. Trinity was nice. Trinity was probably the most loving person on Total Divas there was. Like genuine feelings, like she just wanted a family and she wanted to make Jimmy happy. Like that was her. She wasn't. She was just a good chick. Everybody else, you thought Natalia might have been a little crazy because all she loved was her cats and TJ, and that she was maybe in an abusive relationship because TJ loved wrestling. She was just there. She was a heart. He married her because she was a heart. That's how I felt.
Were they childhood friends though?
They were childhood friends. They were
Yeah.
neighbors. She was a heart, and he loved wrestling. And he's like, "Yep, I'm gonna date
It
her.
does, and I
She's
could
a
be wrong.
neidhart."
I'm sure they, love each other, but it does feel like that they were like childhood friends that just, um, I guess looked
I
up and
couldn't
was
get
like,
nobody else.
oh,
I just stay with you.
yeah, yeah. It's like it's like, oh man, we're
You
we're
single? You
30
single?
now. Yeah, we're
Let's get
already
married.
roommates. You know,
let's put a ring on it. Let's make it official.
yeah, it's like yeah,
How many bedrooms we gonna get? 3. One for me, one for you, one for the guest. Okay.
yeah.
What
Yes,
about the cats? We'll get 4 for the cats. You know,
I'm sure the cats have their
or
own room.
TJ. I'm pretty sure they do. She wouldn't have it any other way. But after that match, we had Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll.
I went to the store during this match.
Now
Um,
this was
n-
your Motor City Machine Guns versus.
I want to be clear about that. I had left
That's
during
our
their
Royal Rumble joke.
entrances. I left and 'cause I've seen the entrance. It's not like they got the coolest theme music. Like I'm good. I don't need that. And I
Raise your
needed
fist.
yeah, I'm good on that. And I
I'm,
thought
I'm
like yeah,
prefacing. I
I
didn't
can go
leave.
to
I didn't
I
go
can go
get
to the
snacks.
bathroom and be out real quick. I didn't know that everybody else was thinking the same thing, and it was a line to pee. I
No,
was like, oh
everybody
my
else
god.
said we don't care about this entrance or this match, and it
Yeah,
was a
they
good
did.
match. Yeah, I love
It
Two
was a
Valkyrie
good
Falls
match.
match.
It was a good match. I didn't to get to see that, even though the weird ending. But no, yeah, I did decide. I was like, I don't care. So I seen Jelly Roll sing Randy's theme. I leave. I come back. Jelly Roll is like hurt And then all of a sudden he's like, no, no, and he runs back in there. So I called that,
It's like it's
and then gets
well,
beat up.
okay. So and then loses the match.
He had
All I
heart
gotta say
though.
is Jelly Roll took he took a hell of a frog splash. I'm gonna say that right now. He took a hell of a frog splash by Logan Paul when Logan Paul did the frog splash off the top of the ring post through the table. You know, um,
He's
because
currently
at
got
first I
one of
was
the
like,
best frog
"Oh,
splash in the
Logan
game
Paul's."
right now.
Mm-hmm. He does. He does. I forgot what he calls it. He doesn't call it a frog splash though. But
Humble
it's one of
splash.
the best. He's definitely no. It's something Paul. Logan Fall, something like it. It's something that has to do with his name.
I'm good on it.
Remember his boot and leg drop. His boot and leg drop is called Hogan Paul.
Was he at Hogan's funeral?
I don't know. He wasn't on Ric Flair's list. Ric Flair, he's not important enough for Ric Flair to say.
Mm.
I didn't see Hogan. I'm looking for. There was no videotape, but if it was, I would have saw it. I would have put it in the chat somewhere.
Was Brooke
But
there?
with that, no. Brooke said she celebrated his life by going to the beach with her family.
I've said this to you off off the podcast, but her and her husband have been
Yeah,
given the most weird and conflicting responses to all of this. It's almost like, are
the
y'all,
Hogan death.
yes, it's just, she came out, it's like,
I think
oh,
she mourned her. I think she mourned the death of her daddy a long time ago.
oh, crap. Oh, you think before he died?
Yeah, I think she's like, our relationship is never gonna happen. It's over.
But like
He's not gonna
when
leave
he did
Sky.
die, she started talking about, like, oh, they had been talking and their fallout was something. It was, oh, it's something, we had a disagreement on something, but we're good now. And then like her husband's like, yeah, he never did come see the kids. She's like, y'all telling two different stories, and
I mean, they might have been good, but he probably didn't go see the kids. Hogan probably didn't mess with Tennessee like that. He was selling his beer up north, a little bit
but
in the south.
before he passed, she was like, I'm not talking to him or my mom, and so it was like, which one of these stories is true? And then she's like, I didn't get to
I mean, I don't
go.
think she was.
She's like, I didn't go to
Yeah.
WWE because they didn't invite me. And it's like, maybe you didn't go because you're probably not on good terms with any of the people that were there.
I mean, I don't think she's in good terms with anybody in the wrestling business. She's definitely not in good terms with her brother. She's already, I think he was one of the shady people she was talking about, which
Mm.
Nick might be shady. Uh, you know, um, because we know how much money Hogan spent to keep Nick out of jail.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know, but we know he spent some.
It's a lot.
It was a lot, but he didn't have to. I feel like if you have two kids, you got one kid, you might have to take the money and I'm gonna have to get him out of jail. And then if you got and then you got one, be like, well, that one is the responsible child. The
She
responsible
also
child was Brooke.
she recently was saying, I guess she wished she was in charge of like his estate. She said she would have had him
Hmm.
I'm trying to think, she compared him to Elvis. And I know these things are
Yeah,
nice things.
uh,
And everybody wants to, treat their, parents, especially their famous parents, like that. But do you think she
an
really could
icon
have done some sort of, I don't know, museum or something? Do you think she would have been able to run something like that? Do you?
for Hogan. Oh. I mean, for me, if I feel like the beach shop is his museum. What are we gonna have? You know,
Like, do you think that'd be safe in her
his
hands?
tights.
Like,
That's at the beach shop.
because I don't know any business things she's
I
done.
think she's been doing some businesses, but she does local
Okay.
businesses in Tennessee. I just watched an interview about her actually like a year before Hogan passed. Just because I was like, man, what is she doing? Because I only see him, hanging out with his least favorite child, his least famous child, anyway. In the world, probably probably the least favorite Hogan. Some people like Linda
Yeah, there was a
more than
point where he
more than
he was
Nick.
where he was dating Lizzie McGuire, and who was the other girl he had at the same time? He was
He was he was he was he was a Hogan brother.
yeah, he was for that moment I thought he was the coolest guy on the planet.
Nick Hogan was over when he had hair. Um,
I didn't even know he lost it until I seen him on Raw. I haven't
well,
seen him.
I knew I only seen him because I followed Hulk Hogan.
So you seen him at
I
the beach
still
shop on the
I saw him
karaoke
at the beach
nights.
shop, and when Hogan would be like in the gym cutting promos about it, Nick would usually be there with him. He'd be in the home gym with his dad, flexing along with Hogan.
Along with, I always see him get. In the past, I've seen like in recent history, I've seen him get mentioned as a character at the beach shop, along with his designated driver. I mean, his wife. Uh,
his his wife and the 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 mouth of the South, the oldest man, but who still looks young because he pays a lot of money, I guess. Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South. Still looks like it's like 1989, and he's screaming, "Come on, baby, get him, baby, you're gonna win it." You
I
know.
wonder if it's because he keeps the same look, so he keeps the same routine, maybe the
Hmm.
same, you know,
Same dad job.
yeah, like, same. So he's not playing, taking no risks. He's, still treating the hair the same root, remedies and stuff. So I don't know. I'm making a guess. I have no idea. I don't know
All I
what
know
keeps
is
Jimmy Hart looking good. I don't know.
never takes the sunglasses off, brother. Never see the bags around the eyes. I don't know. Uh,
That could be it. That could be,
but he still seems like
but the
he's
hair's still
moving.
good. The hair's still good.
Nurse is good. Probably went to Turkey before Turkey was cool.
I ain't mad at it.
I'm not at. I'm just saying that he's doing his thing. He looks better than everybody. Even he looked better than even Hogan in those last few days. I could yeah, well, I wouldn't say he looks better than Bischoff. Bischoff still got abs and looks pretty good. Um, Bischoff is better than what he did when he was young. Physically, I'm not talking about his face, but his body definitely looks like he's taking care of it
All
as
right,
he's
his
gotten older.
body wise, yeah. But see, I don't know. Was his body bad then? Because I know when he got to WWE, they made this thing about how he did martial arts and stuff. Um, like he always had shirt on, so I don't know, but
Really, sometimes Eric would look like he was in great shape when he was in WCW. But by the time he got to WWE, sometimes he just looked like he was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just eating pizza and steaks and mashed potatoes. I'm not working out." But in WCW, it seems like he was still sparring because I mean, he said that he had his Ernest the Cat Miller was teaching his son how to fight.
yeah, yeah.
Eric Bischoff, the one of the worst.
What's he doing now?
I would say he's the worst second generation wrestler. Selling cars, selling meat in Minneapolis like his daddy. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh no, no, not him.
He's not doing too much.
Ernest Miller. What's he doing?
The cat? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Cat's doing podcasts. Cat has a podcast. I don't know what else he's doing,
Okay, okay.
but he's he's just out here. He's out here doing his thing. He was with Goldberg, so hell, he's still a little bit relevant.
He was, wasn't he? Because we talked
I mean,
about
I
that.
think that was.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Him and Dan Lambert, they were with Goldberg.
No, well,
I
guess he's
can't be
doing
mad
good.
at him for that. So he's doing all right. He was good enough to come back into WWE at least for a cameo to be
Yeah, yeah.
one of Goldberg's guys. But back to the Jelly Roll, I do want to say this. I think it's a shame that Travis Scott couldn't muster up enough to do what that man did, because Jelly Roll didn't do too much of nothing other than take a bump or two and take a splash.
I think
Then looked
WWE
pretty
did not
good. So
know who they were getting in bed with. Travis Scott is I don't want to say he's not workable or nothing, but he's a guy that comes in, he slaps his name on something, he's in and he's out. With wrestling, I mean, yeah, if you're doing those Monday Night Raw things where you come in, you do your one thing, what they wanted from him is they wanted to teach him how to wrestle and do all these things he wasn't going to put that time into. Like he's somebody who
that's true.
he'll come, he'll do something, and then he moves on to the next thing. Like that's just how he is. He's not about to put all this effort into it. I just don't see it. Not in this part of his career anyway. Maybe if he gets older, gets more humble, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But now, like, yeah, I could see, yeah, book him for one off here, one off there, but to put him in this training and think he's gonna give you this Bad Bunny like thing, no, it's not gonna happen. And your first
And
your
I think
first
that's
sign that
exactly.
he's not the guy would have been when he showed up Raw and he's smoking weed and y'all couldn't get him to put that away for the show. Y'all gave in to that.
For 2 or 3 minutes while he's walking down the audience when there's kids there, which they brought up. There's children right there. Even Jay said there was a kid right there. You know,
And that
um,
WWE, like
just
they give in to celebrities, and so, but right there when you knew he was not going to cooperate, and y'all gave in to that, you should have known that he's not going to put in the work to do everything you want and do everything you need or be here to do all the stuff because he just comes in to do what he wants.
and I would like to say this about him before we even tackle night two, but I feel like he's the person that ruined Cena's heel turn. Since they weren't going to use The Rock and he was going to be the instrumental vocal point of Cena being the heel. Like, not Cena just being Cena, but he was going to be Cena and co-sign Cena on all these things and just kind of be
I
like,
think, but also
didn't make
without
Cena heel
Rock
turn
though,
make sense.
what is he going to do? What was Travis Scott going to do?
I guess bust people's eardrums because he was doing it. Ah,
That's so crazy.
he got Cody. He got Cody. But I want to say I feel like Jelly Roll did better. Did pretty good. He took some nice stuff. Um, as a person looking at it, I feel like why bring him in to lose? But as a wrestling fan, I feel like it was the best thing for him to take the L anyway. You know, why is this
Is it
overweight
because the whole
man
storyline was like he
who
didn't
looks
belong?
unathletic?
People
Yeah,
outsiders don't belong, and then he lost, and it was like, okay, were they right?
never they right. Well, no, because he got beat by another outsider, which was Logan Paul.
But Logan Paul's
But
saying this
maybe
stuff
this
because
is
he's
actually
saying he,
setting up for
he he's
Logan.
not an outsider
Mm,
no more in his eyes.
yeah, but maybe we'll get Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. Who's the best celebrity wrestler?
Which Bad Bunny says he's the best celebrity wrestler of all time.
I wouldn't say that. I think it is Logan Paul. Like
Right.
legitimately, it's Logan Paul.
But Logan Paul was an actual real mat wrestler before all this.
But that doesn't mean anything. I mean, we
He's got an
have
edge.
being an actual being a. I mean, that's true. But there's some Gable Stevenson was trash.
He was, and I think if he was given more time, he would have got better. People made their mind up that they hated him
He was
when that story came out.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. But also he was under contract for like 2 years and did nothing. For real, to be in, they shouldn't have done it. I want to go back to and win the Olympics again. Nah, bro. Kurt Angle did it. You need it once. All you needed was once, and you need to get in there. But it didn't work out like that. Seems like Peter has went off. Hopefully he comes back, but the show must go on. And by that I mean we're going to move up to the World Heavyweight Championship match. That match was CM Punk versus Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That match, my friends, that match was crazy. I would like to say that it actually wasn't crazy. I'm going to say that match was a technical match. It was very different than what we saw the next night for the main event. It was a grounded, ground and pound type match. It was, it was, it was an old school match for me. I didn't feel like the crowd was in it. Didn't feel like the crowd was with it. Seemed like they were looking for those train wreck type matches, high spots galore. But that's not what we got from this match. We got a slow, innovative, good match from arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world, which I would say is Gunther. Um, Gunther did his thing. He killed it. Obviously, at the end of the night, CM Punk won the match, but this was one of CM Punk's best matches. Uh, I would say it's his best match, than his match with um, other than all his matches, pretty much with Drew McIntyre. But he had probably it was a good match for CM Punk, good match for Gunther. At the end of the day, I would say more power to both of those gentlemen. CM Punk won. He became the world heavyweight champion until, as we all know, Seth Rollins, which I called. I figured it was a work just by the fact that it was getting so much coverage that Seth Rollins was hurt and that he kept his face in the product. He kept his name in people's mouths, and it was a work. And Seth Rollins came out. He had the cast on. He had the brace on. Excuse me, and he had his crutches. And Paul Heyman was out there. And then the next thing you know, bam, the crutches fall to the ground. The cast, the brace comes off. He sprints to the ring, shot to the face with the briefcase, shot to the face with the briefcase. Seth Rollins has cashed in his money in the bank briefcase. Boom! That's it. Stomp to the head. Seth Rollins is the new world heavyweight champion. The music hits, the whoa. Braun comes out. Braun came out with ice on his leg, so I hope he's okay. Seemed like he was okay last night on Monday Night Raw. And then Bronson Reed came out and they celebrate. And the vision was seen. And that's how the show went off the air. SummerSlam Night One, to me, one of the best SummerSlams in the past few years. Night One, I don't think Night One was as good as Night Two, but Night One was a good. It was good for me. I enjoyed it. The Seth Rollins match of the night for me was, I would say, match of the night for me was the first match, the Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, whatever they are. I like to just call them the New Dangerous Alliance, but people can call them whatever they want. But I definitely think that that was the best. It was it. They did their thing. It was one of the best matches ever from Roman Reigns. This star power, the match, it flowed. Jay did good. Bronson did good. Braun Breaker always does good. His intensity, his spears. Um, but that was the match of the night for me. But I can say, all in all, I think it was a good card. We had It was just good card. We had a good match. That main event was great, and the surprise of Seth Rollins, which I thought it was a work, and I was right, but it was a good one. And I would like to say, for Peter, this is Alex. We are Rope Break, a wrestling podcast. See you later for the review of Night 2.